Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not every day that I can title a video with U.S. military exposed. Now, snort up that G Fuel, crack it up, put it in the water, I don't care how you do it, use code SOG by the way, that's all I ask, because we're about to get into a little deep dive-ish, if you will. Now, we looked at a lot of spying, throughout the months, throughout the year, if you will, throughout the last year, and we've always talked about how you should be really safe with the data you create, because it's probably your most valuable asset. What if I told you how much that data is actually worth, right? Like, is it worth to the average? You might be wondering who's buying it. What are people doing with it? Well, today's data in this case is location history. Now, if you own a modern day smartphone, all right, that conveniently always is connected to the internet, you'll probably be very glad to know that your location is pinged, I don't know, 20, 30, hundreds of times a fucking day by multiple applications. Applications that you have given permission to. You know, every time you open an app and it says, hey, we would like to know your location history, and it seems very seemingly innocent. Hey, I opened a weather app. Got to give it location data, and you gave the weather app your location data. Now, it seems really harmless, but what if that data was used for nefarious purposes? What if it wasn't the company itself doing something shady? What if it was that data that was being sold to someone else? Well, let's look into what happened. Now, Muslim Pro is an application that Muslims use around the world to calculate prayer timings. There are 5 prayers in a day for Muslims. You've got Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha, right? These are the prayers that Muslims have to follow every single day. These are mandatory prayers. They happen at different times. These different times vary by location. Sometimes the sun comes up faster. It goes down differently in other parts of the world. It's just how it works. So Muslims, to make life easier for them, download applications that conveniently check through location data where they're at, and it gives them accurate timings. Now, these applications have a lot of other things to them, right? Muslim Pro, as far as I know, had like Quran verse of the day, multiple other things. Reasons you would open this application more than just, say, checking for prayer times. Now, every time you would open the Muslim Pro location, and I'm speaking from an iOS perspective, Android, the applications, the permission systems is kind of a little weirder in my case, but at least with Apple, all right, you typically have the notion of giving the application some location access, like typically when you only open the application, or giving it a much more free reign. But again, Apple sort of ties this in because, give them credit, they are pretty privacy focused, especially when it comes to third-party applications. There's not a whole lot that they can do if Apple doesn't allow it at the system level. Anyways, moving past all of it, every time you would open the application, your location would be pinged, whether you'd be at home, whether you'd be at grandma's house, whether you'd be at the store, who knows, all right? Your location data is pinged. Now, this company, Xmode, in this case, is a pretty big player in the location data game. Yes, that is an actual industry. What they do is they provide a set of tools that is actually used to capture location data and, better integrate it into your application while keeping it, again, pretty privacy conscious, whatever the fuck that really means at this point. And it's a pretty big player. Multiple applications use this. Muslim Pro was one of them until they cut ties with this application, right? So let me just get to what was happening. So the application data wasn't exactly being sold to the U.S. military in just one swoop. The Muslim Pro was not directly giving the application data to the U.S. Army. What actually happened here was a multiple step process. Step 1 was Muslim Pro capturing this data as people open the application. This data would then be sent to Xmode, right, which would be the location data broker in this chain. Now, Xmode, all right, has its own connections with other people, but even they aren't directly tied to the U.S. military. No. What they are tied to are people that work with the U.S. military, so other companies, defense contractors, if you will. They would give that data to their third-party friends who may or may not be defense contractors. Those defense contractors may or may not sell directly to the United States military. So, long story short, it was kind of, if you want to think about it, like a fucking location data laundering network where you went from one app that had no idea. Muslim Pro really didn't have an idea, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't know. Again, it's hard to gauge that. They did actually sign an agreement with this Xmode company. So whether there was servers. Whether there were things that either company didn't talk to each other about is a whole different story. Point is, Muslim Pro worked with a group that ultimately ended up having that location data shuffled over to the US military. Now, I don't have to describe to you how weird it is that the US military would be getting application data from Muslim Pro, but hey, there's more than that. Motherboard, who actually broke this, pretty much showcased that they didn't just they didn't just get this data from Muslim Pro. They actually got it from a dating application. They got it from a wholly separate Craigslist style application where people post up shit to sell. They got it from an application that literally followed fucking storms, and a level app that can be used to help install shelves in bedrooms. Yes, they were going for every fucking range under the sun, not just Muslims, but dating people that were dating and were Muslim, people that were just selling random shit online, storm chasers, and motherfucking IKEA builders. Now, these applications right here also consisted of Xmode, the SDK that was used to track this location data, right? This was not just Muslim Pro, but the Muslim Mingle app. Acupedometer, which was literally a step counting application. Again, I don't even understand how useful this is because most iOS and Android, I think, actually have built-in tools for this. What the fuck are you doing? Screen stream mirroring. All right, so I guess people that were sharing their screens or at least sending movies to their TVs, and global fucking storms. I don't see the correlation, but the US military obviously did, so they were just buying the location data from this company that was then selling to these tools right here. It's fucking weird. Now here's Muslim Pro Public Advisor. They had some choice things to say about all these allegations, right? Muslim Pro. All right, media reports are circulating that Muslim Pro has been selling personal data of its users to the U.S. military. This is incorrect and untrue. What do you expect them to say? Oh yeah, fuck yeah, we sell your data to the highest bidder. Cheat on my wife. We apply industry standard security arrangements and protective measures and select leading technology partners to keep our data safe and secure in our cloud infrastructure. We have also been open and transparent about the personal information we collect, store, and process. Oh, you think I will? Oh, really? Really now? Because the trust of millions of brothers and sisters of the Ummah put the Muslim Pro every day means everything to us. I also like this thing that somebody says, heard you were trying to turn the Ummah into particles, fam. Yeah, no, they got it. I definitely feel like a sinner for laughing at this. Let's be fucking real here internally. Also to note that apart from our community section, every single feature of the Muslim Pro app is available without signing up or logging in. This contributes to the anonymity of data we process and collect. We'll get to that in a second. In our effort to better serve our users and help businesses enhance their products and services offering, we've shared anonymized data with select technology partners who are required to comply with global laws and regulations around data protection privacy. Yeah, not if they end up giving that data to another person or a company that may or may not follow those same laws. You see, that's how the data laundering mindset works, right? Keep passing it along the chain until you get to some fucking level of legality. Since we are made aware of the situation, we have launched an internal investigation and are reviewing our data governance policy to confirm that all user data is handled in line with existing requirements. Regardless, we have decided to terminate our relationships with all data partners, including Xmode, effective immediately. You can't just fucking do that and then pull this shit off. It's like, well, we weren't giving your data away, or at least not that we thought. But you know what? We're going to make it better and cut all of our ties right here. So you were just fucking fine with it until it got completely exposed. This is PR bullshit. If I was a Muslim, right, which I am, I would... This is PR bullshit. Delete the application, Muslim brothers and sisters. This is shady as fuck. Now, this isn't the first time the United States government has ever done this shit. You know, the Secret Service brought access to cell phone location data. That happened literally August of this fucking year. They went to another company called Babel Street and added a package called Locate X to their entire system, which helped them do roughly what you would expect that is happening right here. Now, you might be wondering, this takes us to the last step. Why the fuck would somebody be that interested in granular location data? Now, this data is definitely anonymized, right? No one is saying that it isn't. But that's not to say that that's just the only concern. It could very easily also be de-anonymized too. I mean, there's systems that exist for that. But I'm not going to get into the CSI conspiracy theory shit. We have plenty of fact to stick with. Let's talk about granular location data, right? Let's say that every time you open the data, within reason, right, you would expect that the modern day GPSs and location tracking of most smartphones to be somewhat reasonable. It might not detect me sitting on this chair right now, but the location services is going to detect where my house is for sure. So every time you open the application, small blurb of data gets sent, right? Your location data, history, whatever. Now, what happens in this case, and I'm not the data scientist that works on this, but I'm sure those people can explain it far better. What you're looking for is causality, and you're looking for patterns in this case, right? You're looking for a pattern to develop. What pattern develops here is that, let's say Muslims, they wake up at 8:10, right? Like, it'll develop a schedule, so to speak, right? So let's say the average user has a schedule on Muslim Pro. They'll open the application. It'll tag every location you've been to for a day. Multiply this by hundreds of millions of users, right, that would use the application. All that data is then sifted and it's analyzed and checked for patterns, right? So let's see what most Muslims who open this application are doing from this hour to this hour to this hour to this hour. So then you establish a pattern of what people are doing. Now, what's fucking scary about this is now that you have that data pattern established, go to another application, right? Let's say that in the future, in the United States, there's like a law that says you must install this iOS application to track your movements if you're a gun owner, right? What actually happens in that case is the pattern gets developed on the gun owner side. Now, those people can take the sets of data from the gun owners and the Muslims and say, wait a minute, there's some fucking overlap here. So maybe the overlap that we're seeing from this app can conclude that the users who are on Muslim Pro, who are exhibiting the same behavior on the gun owning website, even though they're not directly connected, this person might not have a fucking account on the gun owning app. There might be some causality. The user here that's exhibiting the same behavior there might also be a firearms owner. Let's combine it with other patterns, right? The more and more patterns you establish, the more and more you can predict how human behavior and things work. That's one of the big things location data can be used for. And it's fucking effective, all right? There's a reason people are paying millions upon millions of dollars for this, because it works. And that's just how things go down with, right? Now, as somebody that promotes data privacy and security, there's only so much you can realistically do to protect yourself in today's fucked up day and age with how things get tracked. But there's a lot you can do right now, and that is to get rid of applications like this. I don't give a fuck what Muslim Pro says about securing your data or whatever. They were caught with their pants down, dick in hand, did not care. I would remove that application and never fucking touch it till the end of days. There's plenty of other applications out there. But then again, how many other applications exist that contain the same level of bullshit that this one did too? Remember, they weren't just getting application data from fucking Muslim Pro. They were getting application data from fucking storm chasers, from people that were installing leveling apps. They literally did not give a shit who they got the data from, or they did. You can't really fucking prove that outright, but it's kind of shady how that connection develops, right? The military is getting fucking super granular data from a bunch of Muslim praying apps. It's, well, at least one in that case, and then a dating app. It's just fucking weird. It really is. Now, whether that data is used for nefarious purposes or whether that's used for an ultimately holier-than-thou purpose is something that's undiscovered. But hey, I think one can draw the connection of why the military would choose to buy data for a select group of people that they've, not exactly had the friendliest fucking relations with in the last 10, 15 years. But hey, I'm going to leave it where that is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how the U.S. government and the military specifically was caught with their fucking dick in hand pants down. This is me, Mutahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Stay careful. Your location data is very valuable. Your data is valuable, and that's why you should take the utmost, I guess you could say, effort in the world to take care of it. That's all I can really say. I am